Hello, Van. I was just telling Henry that my apple trees had crown gall. But I sprayed and the crown gall is gone.
Oh, really? Well, you must be very relieved.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Could I have a word with you, Henry? We've had several calls from your banks saying they have insufficient funds.
Oh, those idiots.
I was prevailed upon as honorary secretary to please bring it to your attention so you can clear it up with the bank. It's been going on for weeks.
I wonder if Beckett would go this far to get me to call back.
Now, listen to me very carefully, please. You see, when you have capital, you are able to derive... No, I will attend to the check in a moment, Mr. Graham. I understand about the check. I'm trying to explain something to you that is terribly important. When we spend more per month or per year than we have in income, you must then dip into the capital, eventually exhausting the capital and, of course, therefore, the income. Do you see what I mean?
Mr. Beckett, this check must be paid.
Mr. Graham,
And at once.
I'm trying to explain to you that it is impossible to pay the check because your expenses have exceeded your income to such a point that you have exhausted your capital. Now you have no capital, no income, therefore no funds for the check, you see.
Don't treat me as though I were a child, Mr. Beckett.
No, I'm not.
I am as aware of what it means to have no capital as you are.
Oh, good, good.
Now, what about this check?
Well, are you entirely sure that you really do understand what I mean by capital, Mr. Graham? You see, you've exhausted the capital. I can't cover the check because the check is for $6,000 and you don't have $6,000. In other words, you don't have $60.
Come to the point, Beckett.
The point, Mr. Graham, is that you don't have any money. The capital and the income are exhausted and you no longer have any money. I wish there was some other way I could say it. How could I put it? That money, you have no capital, you have no income, no, it's only money. No, you have no money. There's no other way to put it, you see.
You mean I have no money?
Yes, that's what I mean. You have no money.
So what of my stocks, my AT&T, my General Motors?
Yes, I know.
My Amarada Pete.
Yes, I know about Amarada Pete. Let me show you something, Mr. Graham. You see, it was necessary for me to sell several shares per year in order to cover the checks that you insisted on writing.
Who gave you the right to do that?
You did, Mr.
I did not.
Graham. Yes, you did. See, 15 years ago, when you told me that you wished to live on $200,000, despite the fact that the income from your trust fund was only $90,000, and that
That is beside the point. This check must be paid. Do you realize that this check is bounced, Mr. Beckett? I mean bounced, as though I were some indigent...
Yes, I know the check is bounced. It is not the first check that you've had bounced, Mr. Graham. I personally have covered 3 overdrafts of yours to the extent, I'd like to show you this check, of $550. This is of my own money, not the firm's money, but that is not a policy that I wish to continue in the future.
Who gave you the right to do that?
Well, you did, Mr. Graham.
You mean to say that I am now in the position of owing you $550?
No. Please don't think of it as a loan, Mr. Graham. I have no more hope of receiving it than you ever have of scraping it up.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Beckett. And may I say that if you expected even the smallest amount of gratitude, you have wasted $550 of the excessive fee I pay you for the tiny services you render.
Mr. Graham, I would like to explain something to you. I have given you $550 of my own money for only one reason. Disliking you as intensely as I do, I wanted to be absolutely certain that when I looked back upon your financial downfall, I could absolve myself completely of any responsibility for it. And $550 is a relatively small price to pay for the knowledge that I've had nothing to do whatsoever with your financial downfall. You have brought yourself to penury entirely on your own.
I don't suppose you'd care to give me an additional $6,000 and insure yourself against guilt permanently.
You're perfect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beckett. Do you think my uncle would lend me some money?
Mr. Graham, during the 10 years that your uncle served as your guardian, he confided in me almost daily that he thought your father had placed him in that position as an act of spite. I don't think he'll give you a nickel, Mr. Graham, and considering your gift for close personal relationships, I don't think anyone else will either.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beckett. Here you are. This will cover the overdraft of $550 that I owe you.
Mr. Graham,
You
I
may
don't...
have these, too. They're non-filtered. Smoke them in good health.